double for Kadire. Rockies are hit double digits. You gotta be kidding me.
Well, how much fun was that last night? Step on up, come on back in Coors Field. See what's in store for the encore, perhaps. The Rockies and Giants rubber game of this three-game set opening week is presented by Burger King. And welcome to a little midweek afternoon baseball with my partner George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. All right, 17 runs, 22 hits. That's what you had in mind at the
and no home runs. No home runs.
Amazing.
I couldn't believe it, huh? 17. How about, and a couple of guys last night I thought swung it back well. Obviously Gonzalez, a couple of triples last night. Scudero set the table. Now how about Chris Nelson, Dexter Fowler, what they were able to do last night. Hernandez with some big base hits. But more importantly, some guys that had struggled that you're counting on. You know, you're counting on Tulowitzki, you're counting on Gonzalez. You know this guy's going to come through most of the time, but those other guys came through big, and Kadire just continues to scald the baseball.
And these are the two guys that maybe you were focusing more on. George, Dexter Fowler off to a slow start. Chris Nelson had hit it hard, nothing to show for it, 0 for 10. They got healthy in a hurry.
Yeah, 6 for 9 last night. You talk about getting healthy in a hurry, and the attitude's better. See him walking around the park, even though there's kind of a mask when you try to smile, but when you're 0 for 10, you're 0 for 10. And everybody's putting pressure on you. But now all of a sudden, you have that attitude coming to the yard with confidence that you're achieving what you want to do, and that's to hit the baseball.
There was one guy last night said, hey, fellas, just tomorrow, can you give me a little of this?
He's out there somewhere, Dad. He's going to go today. That's right.
That's right. Jamie Moyer will have the baseball this afternoon. We'll talk a little bit more about the 49-year-old when we come back to 20th and Blake. spot. Jamie Moyer getting ready to go. Went 5 innings in his first outing down in Houston. Rubber game today between the Rockies and San Francisco Giants. And Jamie will have the baseball. There was a lot of good he did in his first outing against Houston. A couple of pitches, got squared up, but there were a lot of mishit balls also.
Well, a lot of mishit baseballs, and if a couple of plays get made, remember the error at third base. If that doesn't happen, then there's probably going to be some pretty good inning going for him. He gives up a couple of runs on solo shots. He's used to doing this. 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned in that outing against the Houston Astros, a very aggressive, young hitting ball club. Now he'll have some veteran guys he's going to go against today that know Jamie Moyer. So now maybe it'll be a little more prevalent to utilize the cutter, the changeup down and away. He's been out there so many times. I mean, this is the thing about Jamie. He knows what he's doing on the mound. He's healthy. He's going to go about his business the way he does it.
He's facing Madison Bumgarner, another left-hander who, by the way, was not born the first 3 years of Jamie Moyer's
By the way, you're going to say that a lot.
We will say that a lot. Rockies and Giants, Jamie Moyer looking for history. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Sports is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Burger King, the proud sponsor of opening week of baseball. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Angel Pagan will lead things off. He's in a little bit of a funk to begin the season. 2 for 18 overall, 1 for his last 15. Here's the rest of Bruce Bochy's lineup, brought to you by Southwest.com. Melky Cabrera has swung it very well, as has the 3-hole hitter Pablo Sandoval. Buster Posey back in the lineup, and then Pill, Shearholtz, Terrio, Crawford, and Bumgarner. And the first pitch of the ball game from Jamie Moyer. A heater at 78 for a strike.
And that's where he needs to be, 78 to 82. Every now and then touch 84, but utilize that changeup cutter. And I think the one thing for a young catcher like Rosario, when you catch Jamie Moyer, you may call a fastball, but it may be 75. The next fastball may be 80. The next one may be 84. It may be cut. It may be sink.
And that's on the outside corner at 76 miles an hour. Jamie Moyer lost to the Astros on Saturday. 267 big league wins.
And that is tied, or excuse me, he's by himself at 35th all-time in the history of the game at 267. One shy of Jim Palmer with 268.
Just missed 2-2. So think about this, folks. He's been pitching at the big league level for a quarter of a century. Madison Bumgarner's 22 years of age. Yank foul. Willeen Rosario is catching Jamie Moyer this afternoon. Second start for Rosario, 23-year-old catcher.
Just what Jamie likes to do. If he can work ahead in the counts, and he's even now 2-2, but if he can work ahead in the counts, then he can nibble with the changeup and that cutter. Take it off of the plate, come from the back door into the middle of the plate with the cutter. It wouldn't surprise me one bit for him to go to that right now. Now, he'll shake off a lot, and he'll try to disrupt where hitters try to step out and disrupt pitchers' rhythms. He tries to disrupt the thought process of a hitter by shaking an awful lot.
On the ground to third, Chris Nelson gathers himself, throws high to first, and that'll be an error on Nelson. Jordan Pacheco's playing first base, and the Rockies will have to deal with the speed of Pagan.
Second error on Chris Nelson. This time it's a couple of hops back there. Has to backhand the baseball, gathered himself, but with the long throw just worked under the baseball when he added velocity to the throw.
Well, the Rockies were good on defense yesterday, but they have been shaky so far this year. It should be a strain. Gonzalez, Fowler, Kadire in the outfield. Nelson and Pacheco on the corners today. Tulowitzki and Scudero up the middle. Rosario's behind the plate. So Todd Helton not in there, and Ramon Hernandez not in there.
20th time Nelson has started at third base, just the 11th time that Pacheco has started at first base. Not making excuses for either one of these players. That play has to be made, and particularly with Jamie Moyer on the mound.
It's a routine play. There's another switch hitter, Melky Cabrera. First three in the lineup for the Giants are switch hitters. 62 degrees our game time temperature.
Good pickoff by Jamie there. He froze Pagan, actually started to flinch and then went back. Did get a good read on Moyer's move.
Way inside, 2-0. Cabrera's faced Moyer 7 times. He's without a hit against Jamie. Giants are off to a really good start offensively. In fact, in runs per game, they're second to the Detroit Tigers here in the opening week of the season. Amazingly, this is why you can't just look at small trends. They have the second highest ERA in baseball at 6.37, 3-1.
Yeah, and you realize that Bumgarner's going to be better. Obviously, Lincecum's going to be better. He's not going to have a 13 ERA all year.
Matt Cain blew a 6-run lead the other day in his first start of the season.
Scoring more than four runs a ball game early is what they've ended up doing on the average, and you start to look at that compared to a year ago, where a guy like Lincecum had the second lowest run support at 2.92 runs per ball game when he started, to Tom Candiotti. You had to go all the way back to 1993 to find that.
See if Pagan's moving here 3-1. He's not, and that misses. Ball 4. So now you have a situation. 2 on, nobody out, an error and a walk. And here comes Pablo Sandoval.
Try to eliminate the power of Cabrera, keep the ball away from him, out of the strike zone. But the error sets up everything else. Now Jamie has to pitch much more carefully with his pitches, not leave anything in the middle of the plate. And if he's not getting the corners, it's a long day.
This is a kid they could He's a great hitter, tremendous hitter, and he can hit pitches out of the strike zone, but he's really aggressive, which can play into Moyer's hands. You hope.
And everybody tells you, wait, set back, don't fire early, don't chase. That's what it's going to get you to do. If Moyer has success, well, Pablo's not one of those guys going to wait.
In the air to deep center field. Dexter going back, and he'll make the catch. Pagan tags up, and he goes second to third. Well, I was watching Dexter in center field, Jordan. It was hard to judge. He's, shading his eyes. I wasn't sure if he was just giving it a courtesy jog and this ball was out of the yard.
Well, I did too. I think I agree with you that he was going back looking at this thing thinking it was out of the yard. I looked up the flags, a pretty steady breeze out into left center field, which typically it's the other way. It's blowing out into right center field. Today towards the bleachers and left.
So runners on the corners, and Buster Posey, who did have an at-bat as a pinch hitter late in the ball game yesterday. He's dealing with shingles. Did not play on Monday. And again, did not start yesterday. He was in the original starting lineup. 2010 Rookie of the Year. And last year in the month of May, he had that collision at the plate. Badly broke his ankle, was out for the rest of the season.
He'll push this ball to right center too. Defensively, the Rockies set up that way in the outfield. Dexter shading into right center. Got good power to right center.
That's a strike, and it's 0-2.
Pretty good cut fastball here. Started it well out of the zone, then brought it to the back. But the important thing is the way Rosario caught the baseball. He reached out and allowed it to stay in the zone versus let it carry deeper and work its way out.
Throws that cutter quite a bit to right-handed hitters. One and two on Buster Posey. Melky Cabrera at first. Angel Pagan's at third. Cabrera takes off, and it's fouled off. Talking to Bruce Bochy earlier today, asked him as many games as he's managed here as a visitor with the Padres and the Giants, where that one ranked in terms of just overall craziness. And he said probably right either at the top or right near the top. And then he recounted a ball game that misses. The Padres were shutting out the Rockies back in the Blake Street Bomber days, and Bob Tewksbury was dealing an hour-and-a-half rain delay, so they have to pull him out. Willie Blair comes in. He goes, I think Padres ended up losing by 9-10 runs.
Yeah, Tim Flannery was telling me today, talking about that same series. He was talking about to you that as a player when here with the Padres, they scored 32 runs and lost all 3 games. I said, what a great place to play baseball.
2-2 on Posey. There goes Cabrera again, and it's a bullet. Nelson comes up with it, holds the runner, makes a fabulous play there. And he gets a salute from his good buddy Jordan Pacheco across the diamond.
Well, you know what? This is why Jim Tracy still believes Chris Nelson can play third base. Silly error early in that ball game, but then comes back and makes a play like this to get the out and frees the runner at third base. This ball's smoked. One hop, takes it down on one knee, checked the runner, he's not going up, thought about it, went back. Rosario set at the plate. That's a fantastic play, I guarantee it. You talked about a tip of the cap for Pacheco, well, he's getting one right now, too, from the guy on the hill, Jamie Moyer.
2 outs, 2 in scoring position, Brett Pill, and he's way out front.
This could work into a place where you really pick on a young player. As far as using the knowledge of how to pitch change-ups, he really backed off that last pitch.
Giants have scored a lot of runs. They've had a lot of opportunities because they're below 200 with runners in scoring position this year, just at 192. 9 for their first 47. Hopefully that trend continues this afternoon. Pagan taking liberties at third with a lefty on the mound.
And a veteran lefty. With that, they've gone away from signs and they're doing touches now to call pitches. In other words, it could be first, could be third, could be second, could be fifth, could be last. I mean, any combination they want to work with it, they can do this. And what it is with a runner at second, there's no fingers being dropped where they can pick a sign there. It's all about touches as a catcher.
He's got Pill way out front. One, two, and it's lifted foul and out of play. You tell yourself as a hitter, stay back, stay back, stay back. Use the opposite field gap. That's all good in theory, but when you get up there, it's tough to implement. You see the lowest average in the 2 outs and runners in scoring position here in the early going. And that's not what Jamie wanted to do there. So now the bases are loaded for Nate Shearholtz.
Sal, you say left on left. Here's that cutter coming in, and Bill didn't do anything to get out of the way of it. More you're mad because he knew he had him right where he wanted to with all the different breaking stuff. So now he's kind of got himself in a little bit of a situation here. But Nate Shearholtz coming to the plate. Left on left. You're thinking, is he other choices he could go to? 7 home runs in 28 career games at Coors Field. Pretty impressive. Well, he's got 20 in his career, nearly half here.
He's got more home runs at Coors Field than he does at AT&T Ballpark, his home yard. And last night, he was one of the few bright spots for San Francisco. He absolutely smothered a couple of pitches. One off Jeremy Guthrie, and then later on in the ball game, this ball deep into the night. That was against Chatwood, and it's 0-2. His next pitch will be the 28th of the inning for Moyer. Again,
think of how many more pitches he would have had to make because of that error at third, because of hitting the guy when you had him in a 1-2 count. Some of it's created on your own, others by teammates.
Pagan reached on the error by Nelson. Cabrera walked, and Pill was just, as George mentioned, hit by a pitch. 1-2 on Shearholtz. And pops him up down the right field line. Pacheco may have a play. He will. No harm done. It took a while, but Jamie Moyer works out of it. Rockies getting ready to face Madison Bumgarner. And leading off for Colorado will be Marco Scutaro. Came over from the Boston Red Sox in the offseason. Rest of the batting order brought to you by Southwest.com. Jim Tracy will have Dexter Fowler with his 3 hits yesterday, a pair of doubles. Then Carlos Gonzalez scored 4 runs, drove in 4 yesterday. Tulowitzki, Michael Kadire, 3 doubles last night. Then Willeen Rosario, George Pacheco, Chris Nelson, and Moyer. Well, Madison Bumgarner, George, is one of the best young pitchers in baseball, just 22.
I go all the way back to when he made the start in the playoffs against the Colorado Rockies in Asheville, threw a no-hitter for 9 innings. Pretty special. 34-6 through the minor leagues, carried that earned run average here to the National League, where he's 11th. Last year at a 3.21 earned run average, had a very good spring. 201 earned run average, over 31 plus innings. First start, I went over and asked my good buddy Mike Kruko, I said, what happened to first start after a spring like that? And he said, so amped up, just everything was up in the strike zone, went down in the zone.
91, 93, 94 with the fastball, and he has an outstanding slider. It's really late, so it's effective not just on the occasional lefty that he faces, but on the right-handed hitters. It reminds you, I don't want to go Steve Carlton on you, but he's got a ton of ability.
Well, the thing about him, in high school, he threw much harder. Cross-checkers and national scouting directors had said they'd seen 95, 97 miles an hour, and he was a thrower. Now he's a developed pitcher and understanding major league hitters.
Got to the big leagues at 20. Out of Hickory, North Carolina, small town. That's inside.
The other pitcher that was drafted with him in that first round was Alderson, who went to Detroit. Has never panned out above Double-A. He was rushed too very quickly when he went in the trade, and has not able to pan out or work out. A 6'7" right-hander out of the Phoenix area.
3-2. Tim Alderson is who you were speaking of, George, and he and Bumgarner, I mean, every day in the minor leagues, they were trying to outdo each other. They were just put up phenomenal numbers.
Good 1-2 punch anywhere they went.
I guess they traded the right guy, at least so far. Here's the 3-2.
You're going to get used to saying that an awful lot. If he's not on base with a base hit, Scutaro at the plate, you're going to hear Drew say a lot, here's the 3-2.
Yeah, he's been grinding out at bats. It's why Dan O'Dowd really coveted this guy, because he's a pro's pro. Understands fully who he is.
And I was a little bit surprised, I'm going to be honest with you, that Boston traded him for Mortensen. Nothing against Mortensen. I like Mortensen. I think he's got a good sinker and a chance to be a long guy, work guy in a bullpen. But there wasn't a lot of big league body of work behind Mortensen the way there was with this guy. Thought you'd have to give up a little bit more. That was a good trade for Dan.
The whole thing with the offseason moves, bring in guys that have won, guys that have a mindset to play the game right every single day. They're not going to allow fatigue, the length of the season, to enter into it. And that's Kadire, that's Scutaro, Ramon Hernandez.
Well, it sounds like a funny terminology, but they get it.
Yeah.
They get it. They understand how to treat the media. They understand how to treat fans. They understand how to treat teammates, people within the locker room.
Look at that. 9 pitch at bat so far. The next pitch will be number 10. Look at the forward strike zone.
I said this the other day with Helton in the lineup. And Scutaro there also. Paul hit pretty well. I don't think he got a good read on it, did it? Yep, he did. But with those two guys in the lineup, Scutaro saw 23 pitches the other day in Houston. Todd saw 22. Well, when a guy's got a 90 to 100 pitch count, and two guys are seeing 45 of those pitches, that's pretty good.
Defensively, the Giants will have Melky Cabrera, Angel Pagan, and Nate Shearholtz in the outfield. The infield will feature Pablo Sandoval and Brandon Crawford on the left side. Ryan Theriot getting the start at second base, and Brett Pill is at first. Buster Posey, we talked about, back behind the plate. Dexter fires and fouls it back over the head of Carlos Gonzalez.
Fowler, 17 at bats against Bumgarner, 4 hits. He's only struck out 1 time. See, that's the impressive number for me. 1 strikeout in those 17 at bats. Much better contact guy from the right side, but still.
And Bumgarner throws out Dexter. 2 gone. Carlos Gonzalez will come up. He had a monster night last night. His first 2 ABs, he tripled against Tim Lincecum. That to very deep left center field. And then his next time up on a changeup. That long swing, he drove it past the diving Nate Shearholtz. He would drive in 4. He had 3 hits on the night. He scored 4 runs. And he's got great numbers, believe it or not, left on left against Bumgarner. He is 5 for 14 against Bumgarner, including 2 home runs. He's the only guy on the Rockies roster who has taken Bumgarner deep. And Bumgarner stabs that one. So a good start for Madison Bumgarner. 1, 2, 3 through the Rockies in the first. We'll go to the second, bottom of the order for the Giants against Moyer. You look rather professorial, by the way. Glasses over the nose. He and Houston been doing that a lot. You notice that?
Well, boys, just go get glasses.
I just squint.
You need them, and you just won't go do it.
Thank you. Ryan Terrio takes a strike.
You do. I mean, it's you know. Phrase, what's this say? Phrase, what's that say?
Come on now.
I bit the bullet at 45 and wouldn't got him.
Who's Miami playing today, George? Is that a P, an H, and an I?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Yes.
Here's the 1-2, swung on and missed. Terrio's gone, so Jamie Moyer strikes out the 32-year-old Ryan Terrio. A mere puppy in today's game. That'll bring up Brandon Crawford.
Utilize the cutter again, but see, when he does that, he does such a good job of bringing it from outside the zone to the middle of the zone. Anchor it down, boys. Got a little wind kicking up. A few papers flying around up here, folks.
Crawford went deep last night. He takes a strike. So Lincecum goes just 2 1/3. He's 0-2 with an unsightly ERA around 12. And you know who he's drawn on Monday, George? Roy Halladay.
Why not? I was just watching Jamie in the middle of that as he stopped his delivery and just kind of shut it down. The wind's blowing pretty good here at Coors Field. One of those days that check the winds when you go out every inning. A minute ago they were out into left center. Now they're in from the outfield. As you can see, all these winds start to come in and change direction, so it's very important for the outfield to check that out.
Moyer working ahead, 0-2 on Crawford. And this ball is lined toward right center field, and it's over the head of Michael Kadire. So a one-out double for Crawford. He's in his 12th career game against the Rockies. He's hit .350 against the Rockies, 178 against everybody else in baseball.
It seems like it's either fastball or balls left out over the plate. The right center field gap, he wore it out last night, and he's wearing it out here early in this ball game.
So here's Madison Bumgarner. He had one at bat against Arizona in his first start and had a base hit. Ground ball to third. 2 gone. That'll bring up Angel Pagan. Coming up in the 6th inning, we do it every day and every night. Toyota Talk. And here's how you get yourself involved. Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comments, questions, perhaps, to 720-720. Also, if you text right now, you'll be entered to win a $500 gas card. Pagan reached on an error by Chris Nelson in the first. Moyer wiggled out of a bases loaded situation. He never gave up a hit in that first inning. There was an error, a walk, and a hit batter. Pagan, a notorious slow starter in his career, just a .227 hitter in April. This is in the air to deep left field. Cargo will have room. In fact, the wind brought it back. And that's all for the Giants in the second. No scores. We go to the bottom half of inning number 2. Beautiful view of the Mile High City with the mountains in the background from City Park. It's one of my favorite shots of the downtown area. I used to play that golf course a lot.
You share the heater yet?
No. It's chilly with that wind. Here's Tulowitzki against Bumgarner. Talking to Troy before the ball game about Madison Bumgarner, what makes him so tough. He said he's hard to pick up. He hides the baseball really well. He's deceptive.
Long slinging type arm action.
And he has really good stuff also.
He's got command of good stuff.
Troy's 4 for 8 though against him. Takes a strike, 1-1.
That's the difference. There's a lot of guys got great stuff, but do they have command of the great stuff? He's got command of it.
You work with a ton of young pitchers, George, in the offseason. When you are evaluating a young pitcher, Tyler Chapman, we know he's electric stuff. In terms of prioritizing stuff, command, athletic ability, is command number one in that equation?
Well, I want to see stuff. I do want to see that, but I want to see how you handle your stuff. And I think with a lot of young kids, it's more difficult, Drew, if they're hard throwers, because they're able to throw the ball by people chest high and they swing at it. So now you look at it, does he have good command? You go in and watch a guy and they say, well, he's got 100 strikeouts in 60 innings and he's only walked 15. But then you go watch him strike out and it's belt-tie fastballs, it's breaking balls in the dirt. Well, then that's not good command to me. It's just you got overpowering stuff and guys are cheating because so you don't beat them. You know, last year I went in and watched a guy, Dylan Bundy, who ended up 3rd pick in the draft or 4th pick in the draft by Baltimore. You go watch his stuff's off the chart, and his command is off the charts. So far, 6 innings of pro baseball, he struck out 12, hadn't walked a batter, hadn't given up a hit.
And the reason I ask that is, when you get to this level, you see guys who throw 96, 98, and you say, wow. Ball 4. But we've also seen a lot of those guys that don't last very long because they get turned around when they're in the strike zone, and then there's also, you know, how they command it. Are they walking guys? I mean, Juan Murillo, wonderful arm, gorgeous arm.
Franklin Morales early in his career.
Esmil Rogers still trying to figure it out, and he's in the big leagues. And Esmil has a tremendous arm. Tyler Chatwood, a kid, he's 22. Great stuff.
It's tough to figure out when you're at this level. There's no other level to go get ready for. This is the one, so I think here's where you really get exposed. If you don't have secondary stuff, I think one of the biggest things missing in baseball today in a lot of ways is teaching kids how to pitch, and it starts at the high school, grade school, middle school level of teaching them how to pitch, how to understand hitters' swings to make them a better pitcher.
Michael Kadire with a 1-0 count. 3 doubles last night for Kadire. 3rd time in his career he's produced 3 doubles in a game. This one's down the 3rd base line. This one he reached down and one-handed it about 390 feet. And then he blistered the right center field gap with that line shot. This ball is chopped to Sandoval, and he starts a 5-4-3 double play.
Bumgarner in his last start against the Rockies, pretty good, pretty special. 7 innings, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts out at their ballpark, AT&T. Last year, he was 2-1 with an .067 earned run average versus the Rockies. That's how special it was when he took on this ball club.
Well, his last start here, he went 7 innings in mid-September, allowed a run on 6 hits.
Now that goes along with what he did first half, second half. 4-9 first half, 9-4 second half. Very impressive.
Willeen Rosario grounds to short. We'll go to the 3rd, no score.
Moyer headed into the third with Jamie Moyer on the mound, the 49-year-old. Catching him today, the 23-year-old Willeen Rosario from the Dominican Republic. Rosario told me during spring training a little intimidated when he first met Jamie Moyer. That's because he grew up watching him. He said he loved watching him pitch. Well, Jamie Moyer, 27 years his senior. Rosario said, I had to listen to him. I had to soak up everything that I possibly could. In fact, his first start in spring training, he spent more time on the mound than behind the plate because he was trying to make sure that he knew exactly what Jamie Moyer wanted to do. It was the education process that allowed Rosario to have so much growth during spring training and make this club. But Jim Tracy said today that it was really the evolution of Rosario that got him on the club in the first place. And of course, a lot of that has to do with Jamie Moyer, but a lot of that just has to do with Rosario wanting to make an impression on this team. And today, guys, he has a chance to be a part of the history books as a 23-year-old. If Jamie Moyer can get that win, he'll be the oldest pitcher in Major League Baseball to record a win as a starter.
Pretty amazing stuff.
I watch Jamie right now, and I mean, a teammate of mine, him in '86 and the whole deal, but he doesn't even look any different to me throwing the ball than he did when he won 16 games with the Phillies. I mean, it's the same guy. You know, he won 9 games before he got hurt. I mean, all those things. I mean, it's the same guy to me.
I mean, it's the same stuff. I mean, people say, well, he's 49. Well, to George's point, a couple years ago when he's 47, that's when he won all those games.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, to me, it's not a big deal. I mean,
there's an art to pitching.
Sure,
Again,
I mean,
we get all caught up at 95 and big arms and so forth. But this guy's an artist. And you can go back to the mid-'80s with him. He was never an overpowering guy.
Never. 86 to 90 max, but he knew how to pitch. And I think that's the one thing, guys, and I get the fact you want a power arm on the back end of a bullpen because that covers up mistakes for an inning, so there's not an expanded exposure to that guy. I get that. But I just think that with starters, you got to teach them how to pitch. You got to teach them how to understand the game. How's that heater, partner?
It's good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, my legs are
all right.
warm.
Doug and I are freezing, but don't worry about it.
Okay. 2-2. It's fouled off again. Melky Cabrera, Pablo Sandoval, Buster Posey here in the Giant third. Rockies win 17-8 last night. 17th time in team history they've scored at least 17 in a game. Eighth time the Rockies have had 22 or more hits in a game. Club record, we discussed it last night, was 25 hits late September of last year in Houston. Two again, and Cabrera had to reach for it. The timing was off. Marco Scutaro battling that wind. He'll make the catch. Who wants tacos, fans? Enjoy tacos this afternoon, by the way, between 4 and 6 at Taco Bell. When the Rockies score 7 or more runs, make your way to participating Taco Bell locations between 4 and 6 in the afternoon to get your Rockies Tacos special. Here's Kung Fu Panda. He almost left the yard his first time up. Took Dexter Fowler to the warning track in center field. Back up the middle and on through a base hit. Wasn't close to being a strike, George. That's what he does.
Oh, absolutely, that's what he does. And as a great hitter, those guys are going to get after Jamie a little bit. Those other guys you get to pick on. This is a pretty good pitch. I mean, it's coming from the outside about a foot off the plate, and he hits it up the middle. You know what? If that ball's just a little bit closer, like right here, it's a ground ball to shortstop versus back up the middle.
I'll give him that. You worry when you come in with him if you miss in, because he'll hit one in the seats on you.
He'll give a souvenir out in a heartbeat.
Buster Posey hit a rocket to third. Chris Nelson, who had an error in the first, made a gorgeous play. That helped prevent the Giants from getting on the board in the first. One out, one on. Here's Posey.
A lot of this is about pitching. Pablo Sandoval's not going to steal a lot of bases. but he's going to get a lead to help him keep from having a double play turn. So Jamie had countered that. I'm going to throw it to first a couple of times. I'm going to try to shorten him up a little bit over there. I'm happy to get a ball on the ground, maybe get a double play. It doesn't happen.
Cargo makes a terrific play to keep that from going to the wall and keep Sandoval from going first to third. For that matter, keep Buster Posey at first base. 2 on and 1 out.
Play pretty much straight away here. The ball on the line, though, but it's hooking. Cargo able to get over and make the play and get the ball back into the infield. He had Pill right where he wanted him the last time he was up. He had him in a 2-2 count to a cutter and hit him right in the thigh. And he'd had him chasing balls away from him, swinging and missing on changeups.
And he gets first pitch over at 71. It was a changeup. Brett Pill on his first opening day roster this season. 27-year-old, spent more than 6 years in the minor leagues. In the air off the end of the bat, and this is going to be a problem. And Sandoval's going to come around to score. I don't think Dexter got a great read on it. I don't think it would have mattered. There's no way he would have been able to get to that baseball to make a catch. The closest person to it was Scudero. It just landed in no man's land out there.
Well, the wind's swirling. You really don't know what the baseball's going to do, so you're going to play your normal depth. He gets this thing, I mean, literally right off the end of the bat and just dumps it out into the outfield. Sandoval got a pretty good read on this, that nobody was going to get to the ball, so that allowed him to come around and score.
Nate Shearholtz fouled out to first to end the first inning. 1-0 San Francisco. They have 4 singles now in the game. The Rockies looking for their first hit against Bumgarner.
This is a cut fastball talking about it, but with the extension, he got a little bit of depth to it, too.
Two and one. Home plate umpire is Ron Culpa. Jim Wolf at first, Darrell Cousins, the crew chief. He's at second. Bob Davidson's at third. Warriors going to have one play. That's to flip to Jordan Pacheco. 2 outs. And with 2 in scoring position, Ryan Theriot will come up. Rockies All Access takes a look at the team chemistry this year. And they'll do that on Saturday night right after the Rockies ball game against Arizona. You'll hear from Dan O'Dowd and some other members of the reconfigured Colorado Rockies roster. Saturday night right after the Rockies and Diamondbacks here on Root Sports. Theriot struck out swinging his first time. Well, he tried to hit the ball to Fort Collins. That didn't work out too well. He had an Andrew Jones swing here. Look at him drop on the backside.
Oh, yeah, drop and drive, trying to hit. Not that kind of hitter. Mr. Theriot, very good hitter, but not that kind of hitter.
The opening day shortstop for the world champion Cardinals last year. Copa flinched, didn't move the right arm though. 1-1. And that is inside the Ford strike zone. I love what Jamie Moyer said last game He gave up 2 home runs, one of which was, you know, a fly ball into the Crawford boxes, which in left field in Houston, you know, is very inviting. It's a short porch. And after the ball game, the reporter asked him, you know, is that kind of a cheap home run? He said, no. He said, a home run is a home run. I don't play that ballpark game. Because I gave up a home run. Gave up 2 of them. No excuses. So Moyer's ahead right now, or is even at 2-2 on Ryan Terrier. Cameron Moyer looking on. And this should get him out of it. Good job by Tulowitzki. In the inning, though, 3 singles produces the first run of the game. 1-0 Giants, middle of 3. It'll be Pacheco leading things off. Nothing ball game. AT&T trivia question on a Thursday afternoon at Coors Field. Jamie Moyer can become the oldest pitcher to win a game in the big leagues. Who are the oldest players to participate in the other 3 major sports? Great question. Jordan Pacheco against Bumgardner. Inside ball 1.
Can I guess at one of them? In football?
Yeah, football, if you think about it, I think it's relatively easy. I think the NHL one's relatively easy also, if you follow hockey. Basketball's tough. The NBA one is tough. I'm going to give one hint, though, and I don't think it's going to help much, but the NBA player who played at the most advanced age also at one point in time played for the Denver Nuggets. Here's the 1-1 on Pacheco, and it's slowly hit the short. Crawford's got it. Rockies have had 1 base runner, albeit briefly. Tulowitzki led off the second inning with a walk erased on a 5-4-3 double play off the bat of Michael Kadire. Here comes Chris Nelson. Entered the ball game last night 0 for 10. He proceeded to have 3 knocks last night.
Last night, a good night for Chris Nelson. Ball shoots through, gets an RBI out of it. Comes up again, takes a nasty pitch down the right field line for a double.
Two 2-0 count right now on Nelson. Jamie Moyer on deck. That misses. 3-0. Here's some more on the offensive fireworks of last night. The Rockies had 11 extra base hits without a home run since 1921. The 5 times that has happened where there's been 11 or more. The Cardinals and Cubs in 31, 13. I'm assuming it was, well, I'm not sure which team produced the extra base hits, Philadelphia or the Cubs in 86. But you get the point. It was the Phillies, by the way, and it was the Cardinals who produced the 13 extra base hits. 11 extra base hits without a home run. I'll tell you something else about home runs here in a moment. 3-2 on Chris Nelson. And this is an easy play for Sandoval. A lot of ground balls so far. Now Jamie Moyer will come up. So the Rockies in their first 5 games have hit just 3 home runs. Tulowitzki has 1, Kadire has 1, Rosario has 1. There are a few other teams that have hit only 3 so far in the opening week of the season. There are 4 teams, though, George, that have hit 2, which is the fewest in baseball. 4 teams have hit only 2. And when I reveal those 4, you'll realize how you can't look at just a handful of games and say, ooh, this is what's going to happen. Those 4 teams, the Los Angeles Angels, with Albert Pujols in the middle of their lineup and a ton of power. The Philadelphia Phillies with that enormous lineup in a small ballpark.
Well, they're missing a couple of guys, Howard and
they're missing 2 big guys, but you know what? They still have they still have other guys who hit the ball over the wall. The Red Sox,
surprising,
yeah, and the other team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. You say
not surprising.
You'd say not surprising there, but 3 of the 4, big surprise, right?
Real big.
What are the odds Moyer goes deep here, George?
Well,
the same as the Mega Millions from last week.
I don't think they're that good.
Come on, Jamie, turn one.
Yeah, why not?
Get it up in a gust of wind.
Hang a slider. Leave the yard.
3-2.
Pretty good hack. Turn around, look at Posey. Eyes right on it. Better not do that again. Won't be fair if he throws him a slider here. That's all I'm going to say on a 3-2 count.
Not respecting your elders.
Well, it's just not fair.
Crowds get more excited about these foul balls than they have for anything else so far this afternoon.
Well, unfortunately, he hadn't given a whole lot to get excited about. 7 of 8 ground ball outs so far in the ball game for Bumgarner. Not fair. To the cutter. Come on.
First strikeout of the ball game for Madison Bumgarner. He has faced a minimum through 3. 1-0 Giants. Then Bumgardner and the top of the order Angel Pagan to face Jamie Moyer. Let's answer the AT&T trivia question. Looking for the oldest players ever in the 4 major sports. Jamie Moyer is not the oldest ever in baseball. Satchel Paige was 59. He drew a couple of starts with Kansas City back in the 60s. Kevin Willis was the difficult one. 06 with Dallas, he was 44. Gordie Howe played a whole year at 51 for the Hartford Whalers, and at 52 was still skating a bit. George Blanda was 48. Quarterback kicker. He was more of a kicker by the time he was 48. Mark Mosley.
Big square toe.
Yeah, square toe. Mark Mosley, another one of those guys that straight on kicker. You never see that anymore, but he played into his 40s. The kickers last a while. Gary Anderson lasted a long time. One and two. Crawford had a double his first time up. He launched one last night. Showed a little bit more pop than maybe you realize he had.
He really likes that ball middle half in. A very good fastball hitter. Not a good breaking ball hitter from either side, left or right-handed pitcher.
Jim Tracy was asked about something with mechanics with Moyer before the ball game. He said, "You really think this guy who's been in the big leagues for a quarter of a century, I'm going to go and give him some pearls of wisdom on pitching at this juncture?"
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about it. It's just Jamie, you let me know when you're done, and I'll take you out of the ball game. He's got everything figured out right now. 267 wins. We've mentioned that numerous times. Jim Tracy. And realistically, Moyer earned his way on this team. He beat the other guys out for the position of 5th starter. He ends up being the number 2 starter.
And that's a bullet to left center field. Cargo's going to try to cut it off. He will, and he will hold Crawford to a single. Cargo make a couple of good plays, running once toward the foul line and now toward the gap to prevent extra base hits. Did it to Buster Posey earlier in the ball game.
A lot of it's positioning, opposite field. He's not going to hurt you deep over your head, so you shorten up a little bit, but it's a matter of getting the break off of the bat. That's exactly what he did. Crawford had thoughts of going to second, thought better after he saw the ball coming in from Gonzalez. Well, hitting the road? Why not? Take a little trip, but guess what? You subscribe to MLB.tv to see every Rockies out-of-market game online and on your favorite devices in HD quality when you're not at home. Make sure you sign up for MLB.tv.
Giants have won 8 of 10 against Colorado, even with the blowout loss last night. 18 of their last 25. Rockies trying to win this series, and if they do, George, it'd be the first time that they've won a 3-game set against the Giants since the summer of 2010. Last year they swept a mini 2-game set. Sprinkling out there, see a lot of folks
scattering up to the house. Cold enough the way it is right now with the little breeze and then the rain and the water mixed in with it.
0-2 on Bumgardner. If the bunt's still on, you'd assume it would be. That's why Moyer went to first there, just to see if he would reveal early. He did. A really shrewd pitcher, as soon as they see that, even if it's not on, will turn around and square.
Just got to make sure he doesn't set you up, too.
And Moyer able to get the strikeout on Bumgarner. Yeah, listen, Bumgarner will not have an easier assignment trying to get a sac bunt down. Not like you're trying to bunt somebody throwing 94, 95.
A little more difficult just because you're trying to push that ball or do what you can with it. You're waiting on it to get to home plate. 4-7, 12 career starts for Jamie against the Giants, but a very fine 352 earned run average.
Angel Pagan reached on an error and hit a fly ball to left field. Tough man to double, even out of the right side. Pagan is 2 for his first 20 in a Giant uniform. Almost wrenched his back there on that changeup.
And I think the one thing that has happened with this too, watch Rosario at the end of this. Got him way out front. Rosario pop up thinking about throwing to first base to pick off Crawford. And with his great arm like this, it shortens up so many of the leads, not just the pickoff of Jamie Moyer, but also Rosario's arm behind the plate.
Talking to Jerry Weinstein, who's the catching instructor who travels with the Rockies, longtime minor league manager in Modesto, and one of the things that he was working on with Willeen during spring training is to be a little more quiet behind the plate, maintain his focus.
Well, and the other thing too to work on is don't spread out just on breaking balls. When you spread out, you're giving away pitches. That's one way other guys like Tim Flannery, guys been around the game a while, that'll tip a pitch to somebody on base. Obviously, you're going to spread out where you can block balls regardless of the pitch, but don't do it when nobody's on base. But he is so much quieter walking and moving behind the plate right now. Sun shining again. Rain's gone. Doug predicted that, by the way.
He's our resident weatherman. Whatever he says, I figure the opposite will happen. Crawford at first with 1 out. And Pagan, that's a swinging bunt. Rosario has 1 play, that's first. 2 outs. And Melky Cabrera will come up with Crawford at second.
Off-speed stuff right out in front of the middle of the plate. Runner moving, made it difficult to go to second, so the play at first to get the out. Cabrera walking a pop up to second. Like to see that ladder now.
Up the middle and on through, base hit, and that'll get Crawford home. Hit it off the end of the bat, and it just was out of the reach of Tulowitzki, who dove. 2-0 San Francisco.
Mike Shaw, Subaru Supermo. Get a good shot at that pitch down and away from him. Good extension by Cabrera, and again back up the middle, didn't try to pull it. We've seen Sandoval do that in his previous at bat on a pitch, good 6 inches off the plate.
And he gets him out front, popped up left side. Tulowitzki has the best angle. In the inning, a couple of singles produce a run. 2-0 San Francisco. Rockies looking for their first hit.
afternoon. We welcome you back to Coors Field. Manager Jim Tracy said this team will not discourage aggression. That was evident last night on the base path. When you take a look at this, Michael Kadire got himself into a little bit of a pickle. Well, he eventually scored, and Ramon Hernandez, he performed aggression. Did his own damage, safe at third after an impressive move that only he could describe.
In the last part, I play a lot of dominoes, so you go like this, so you move the hands, so I did a domino move. No, I just kidding. We just trying to be aggressive on the bases. I think sometimes we went a little too much. That's why we both got caught up. But I guess it's an emotion of the game. There's a lot of runs going on. Both teams are hitting back and forth. The game doesn't get wide open yet, so you don't know who's gonna win. So you're trying to put the many runs you can put on the board.
It was a great way Hernandez described his hand movements. He said it's just something that he always works on and is aware of. Kadire even commented to me that wasn't the ideal situation for aggression, but he also said, Drew, this team is not afraid to push the envelope, and that's where they're going to be competitive in the NL West.
Well, it's something that they've talked about and tried to implement, Jenny, the last few years. You know that Jim Tracy, Dan O'Dowd really admire how the Angels play baseball. That's a soft line drive to short, and Scudero's gone. Teams that take the extra base hit, go first to third, read the ball in the dirt.
A lot of times you force a team to make a throw, make a play to get you. Sometimes they throw that ball away. And if you play tentatively in this game, it's not going to be a very good game for you. And I think that's something they've tried to emphasize here with this ball club.
Rockies have had one base runner against Bumgarner. One out in the fourth. Here's Dexter.
7 ground ball outs, couple of fly ball outs, a strikeout. That strikeout of Jamie Moyer. A lot of early swings. For only 46 pitches, he works here in the fourth with 1 out.
Well, that's an amazing game. What a contrast to less than 24 hours ago. Rockies were playing pinball against one of the great pitchers in the game, Tim Lincecum, initially. Got after Moto and Jeremy Affeldt as well. Right now, trying to buy their way to first base against Madison Bumgarner.
Well, it's tough. I mean, there's not any balls hitting solid. I mean, a lot of ground balls, broken bats, in on the hands, off the end of the bat.
The only ball that's reached the outfield was Scudero in the bottom of the first inning. Drove it pretty well to center field. That was it. 3-1 on Fowler. Cargo on deck, who's had the most success career-wise against Bumgarner. That's in, ball 4. So Fowler draws a 1-out walk. And that'll bring up number 5, Carlos Gonzalez.
Last time this happened for the Rockies, it was Tulowitzki, then Kadire with the ground ball double play. A different part of the lineup here. You got that 3-4-5 getting ready to work right at you if you're Bumgarner.
Cargo with the 4 ribs last night. 9th time in the last 2+ years he's driven in at least 4 in a game. Hard comebacker his first time. Rockies, George, tomorrow in the opening game of that 3-game set against Arizona will see a 16-game winner, Daniel Hudson, who's a right-hander. Is he almost Bumgarner a left-handed version of Hudson, or vice versa, in that they're long on that backside, kind of sling a little 3/4?
Yeah, it's a good way to put things. Yeah, absolutely. I think Bumgarner for me is just more of a 2-pitch guy, where Hudson will tell you that changeup occasionally, but Bumgarner is just fastball cutter. It's pretty good. He'll reduce a little velocity, take a different grip, and make the ball do some different things. Bigger break on his slider, but pretty much the same thing.
Here's the 1-0 to Cargo. Got a pitch to handle out over the plate. 1-1. There's that cutter at 88. Rockies down 2-0. They've been out hit 6 low. Got that in on the hands. Let's take a look at today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Bumgarner at 93. Jamie Moyer's topped out at 80. Fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. A high fly ball is going to drift into the seats down the left field line.
You really have to stay with this baseball right now. When it does get down these lines, you just don't know which way the wind's swirling as it gets up into the park of where that ball's going to end up. That's why Sandoval and Crawford both went hard to the foul area.
Seen a couple of cutters in this sequence. Some pitchers are reluctant to throw a cutter to a batter on the same side of the plate because the pitch runs to the barrel.
Well, it just stays flat. If they don't get out over that front leg and really complete and extend outside for Bumgarner, his right knee, it becomes a flat, hittable pitch at 88 miles an hour.
Up the middle, knocked down. They're going to get an out.
Nice
Good
play by Terrio.
Yeah, really good play by Ryan Terrio. Two outs. Tulowitzki will come up.
Yeah, really good play. He's going to dive to knock this thing down. Right at the last second, popped up into his palm area, but he's able to find the baseball, recover, and Crawford did a good job. He became a first baseman at shortstop, stretched out to the ball. Really didn't concern himself with Gonzalez at first and trying to turn a double play. Nice play, Ryan Terrio.
And you described it well. If the ball doesn't roll right to where his hand is.
First and second, nobody out. One out, excuse me. 2 outs. I'll get with the inning.
Well, but it would have been first and second,
first
one
and
out.
second, 1 out.
Yep. Instead, man on first, 2 outs. Tulowitzki takes ball 1.
Tulowitzki with a walk in his first at bat. He's the only base runner prior to this inning.
That's the closest the Rockies have come to a base hit. The ball hit by Gonzalez. And this is an easy play for Crawford. Well, Bumgarner's thrown a no-hitter through 4, 2-0 San Francisco. Is brought to you by the Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Built Ford tough. By Burger King, the proud sponsor of opening week of baseball. And by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. World famous Red Rocks Amphitheater. Cranking up for the season right now. 2-0 San Francisco. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Jenny Cavnar, Mark Stout. Next pitch will be the 80th of the ball game for Moyer, and it's in there, a strike to Buster Posey.
Hasn't been any stress though, really. I mean, you know, outside of that first inning, it seems like typical Jamie Moyer type outing. He's given up 6 hits, 2 runs. You're in the 5th. He's got you in the ball game. So the other guy's been pretty difficult to get a hit off of.
Fouled off down the right field line. He's been in the strike zone.
Well, he's going to do that.
6 singles in the game. So Moyer's been very competitive. Obviously keeping his club in it, but the Rockies have done Zippo against tough man and Madison Bumgarner. Good play by Tulowitzki. Posey's retired. That'll bring up Brett Pill. A reminder, coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. Here's how you get yourself involved. Text Toyota followed by space, then your comments, questions to 720-720. And if you text right now, you'll be entered to win a $500 gas card. 1-1 on Pill. Bill went to Cal State Fullerton. In fact, he was on their 2004 national championship team. Seventh round pick of the Giants. From 3-2. Changeup. First time I've looked up at the gun and seen him pitch in the 60s.
But what a great pitch it was. Really pulled the string out front on Pill. He threw the same pitch to him to get to 0-2 in his first at bat, and then hit him with a cutter on the thigh.
Two runs, 6 hits for the Giants. The Rockies without a run or a hit. Top of inning number 5. Right side, Pacheco.
Didn't see it in the sun. Saw a great big swing. He was playing deep, and Jamie Moyer came off the mound and pointed at him. You got it. And he's going to look right up into the sun with this. See, he shade with his glove, and it comes in, and then didn't realize it wasn't hit very far. that top hand, though, didn't he? Wasn't that leather? He said, if it hits this leather, it's staying in there. I'm spreading his hand out.
Nate Shearholtz takes ball one. He's 0 for 2. Giants have the Pirates tomorrow in their home opener. They may deal with something, George, they rarely have to deal with. Off the ground to first. It's supposed to rain tomorrow in San Francisco. They've only had a half dozen rainouts since AT&T Park opened a decade ago. 2-0 Colorado trailing the Giants. Coming up for the Rockies, Michael Kadire, Willeen Rosario, and Jordan Pacheco. Can figure out Madison Bumgarner here. Second look for Michael Kadire, grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the second inning. And he takes a strike. Arizona and San Diego later on today. They're off to a really good start. Knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten yesterday, though. They're here tomorrow for a weekend set. And Kadire pops it up right around the pitcher's mound. Crawford's got it. That'll bring up Willeen Rosario. A sharp ground ball to short his first time up. You start counting sharp outs at this point. There haven't been many of those.
Not many at all.
As we check in with Jenny Kavnar. Jenny?
Yeah, well, before Michael Kadire was a Rocky, his previous experience here at Coors Field, he only had 1 hit in 15 at-bats. Yesterday, he recorded 3 doubles. But now that he's been at the park in a Rockies uniform, we asked him to describe what he thought of Coors Field.
Obviously, it's got a reputation of being an offensive park, and I think last night it was pretty evident that you never have a game in your grasp totally. At the same time, you're never out of the game.
I think very important, too, he added defensively that he's going to go for everything in the outfield. It doesn't matter how big or how small, whether he's playing at home or on the road. That was evident today. We saw him dive for a ball earlier. There's going to be times that he misses things, but he knows if he's not playing aggressive, then he's not going to be able to send that message to the rest of his teammates.
Well, he plays one way. He really does.
Hard.
He plays very, very hard.
Yeah, I doubt if you saw too many games like last night at Target Field in Minneapolis.
Which, from his perspective, that's just going to help the numbers out, because he still had 20 home runs. Drove in 70 last year. Really difficult ballpark to swing the bat. 1-2 on Willeen Rosario. One for his first 6 this year. The one was a towering home run to left field in Houston. He went. Nope. I thought home plate umpire Ron Copa, at first I thought he was punching him out, but he's actually looking toward Jim Wolf at first. May have caught a break.
Well, I think so. I thought he went around on this ball. Let's tell us right here. Yep, got to ring him up. Glad they didn't, though. Get a swing at him, leave that fastball out over the middle of the plate. Let's see what Rosario could do with it.
Well, he got him on a slider. That is the second strikeout for Bumgarner. Jordan Pacheco will come up.
Right out of the hand of Madison Bumgarner, you're going to get a really good look on it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo right there. As you watch that ball just take off right at the last second, it's that late break and positioning of the hand that allows all that, and field and touch pitch with the breaking ball breaking down.
Pacheco takes a strike. You know, Madison Bumgarner married a small town sweetheart. He's from a town of about 2,800 people, Hudson, North Carolina. Married Allie Saunders on Valentine's Day 2010. You know one of the things he gave her for a wedding present, George?
What?
A 5-day-old bull calf.
What?
5-day-old bull calf.
Huh. Right up my alley.
That's why I told you. This is a weak ground ball to third. Man, he kept the Rockies off balance. He is not allowed to hit in the first 5 innings of this affair. And Bumgarner, cowboy from North Carolina, he's a team roper. Efficiency inning. Now in the 5th inning, Jamie Moyer got a soft liner to short off the bat of Buster Posey. And then Brett Pill popped one up to Jordan Pacheco. And Shearholtz hit one on the ground to Pacheco. Real strong inning for Jamie Moyer. Top of the 6th inning, Moyer has scattered 6 hits. He's allowed just 2 runs. He has kept the Giants off balance. He's doing his thing.
If you go out and give up 2 runs every start and you work into the 5th or 6th inning of every game, you're through the 5th, working in the 6th, I don't know, you can ask for a whole lot more.
Ryan Theriot takes a strike just to finish our read. Excel Energy High Efficiency Inning brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Here's another ball in the air. Dexter Fowler drops the baseball. Wow. And Terrios can end up at second.
can't happen. And I think if you ask Dexter right now, there's not a hole to crawl in. First error on Dexter the other day. Gonzalez dropped one in left field. This ball, even though the wind's playing a little havoc here, it looked like Dexter's camped right underneath this thing.
Now the third ball game, the Rockies have multi-errors in. I said the other day I had never seen Carlos Gonzalez drop a fly ball. He's coming in hard toward the infield, but certainly a relatively easy play. And for Dexter, he's just cruising over there in right center field. That's an easy play. I've never seen him drop that.
Not sure he tracked it all the way into the glove. It was a hit on the heel of the glove, rolled off, turned left, right, bounced onto the ground. Takes a lot of pride in his defense. Guarantee he's not happy about this. Jamie going to have to work out of a tough spot now with a runner at second, nobody out.
Yeah, and you're not doing anything offensively. That's pulled foul.
And Crawford's one of those guys.
You have one out, the 8-hole hitter up, and the benefit of the pitcher next.
Yeah, the only problem, Crawford's been one of the guys that's gotten after him a third of the hits. Yeah. He's gotten a double and a single. Swung the bat well against Moyer. Notice what Jamie's doing, how he's looking around, checking his defenses, looking at third, where Nelson is, where the other guy is, because sometimes that will, as a veteran pitcher, he says, all right, I need to make this pitch right here. Or he may be getting ready to make a pitch and want to move somebody a couple of steps.
Moyer's going to catch a break there and almost threw that away. Comebacker, no advancement for Terrio, and Bumgarner will come up.
Smothered that baseball very well. Ismael Rogers, hard throwing right-handers, getting up, starting to get loose in the Rockies bullpen.
Two and nothing on Bumgarner. Our Toyota Talk inning. Does Rosario have a good move to second? Haven't seen anyone steal on. Well, Eric, we would say a good move. We'd say is you have good pop time to second. That's kind of the phrase that's used. And he's outstanding. He's blessed with a tremendous throwing arm. He's thrown out 6 of 9 would-be base stealers in his brief major league career. I asked Jerry Weinstein, who had him in the minor leagues and now works with him on a daily basis in the big leagues, what's the best he's ever had him in terms of pop time. Major league average is 2.0, 2 flat, 2 seconds flat. He's had him at 1.76 a couple of times. And that's live. That's in action. That's a base runner. That's not just throwing on a field, doing drill work. 3-1, Bumgarner fouls it off. I asked him the best he's ever heard of. He said, I saw on tape Yadier Molina in a game have a 1.69.
That's incredible. Used to hear stories all the time about Pudge Rodriguez sitting at pretty consistent 1.75 to 1.8.
Hey, hello, Salt Lake City. 3-2, struck him out. 2 outs. Moyer's battling his tail off.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's making pitch after pitch after pitch.
He had to do this in the first inning, George. He had to get 4 outs in the first inning because Angel Pagano's up there now Reached on a throwing error by Chris Nelson.
And he's really had Pagan reaching the entire game.
Fly ball left field and a little squibber out in front of the plate. Hello to Minnesota as well.
Thought we'd pick up a few viewers here on the satellite with Michael Kadire. Want to see how he continues to play in the Rockies uniform. That's pretty cool.
Jamie Moyer is the ageless wonder. Joseph and Erie. Purple Road, great website following the Rockies. 2-1. Jamie Moyer working Angel Pagan. Two 0 Giants. They have 6 hits. The Rockies without a hit. The Rockies have made 2 errors. Make a pitch here, Jamie.
He did. Whoop, not going to stay in the yard, though.
Well, if a fan catches it,
he's out.
Seldom utilized rule.
And he missed it.
He made the catch. Manager gets one of those a year. Fan makes a catch in your home ballpark. You point up there, look at the crew chief out on the field. They both indicate.
Let's get a little greedy, okay? More than one. More than one time a year.
It's like the throw the red flag. The head coach in football.
Yeah, kill it.
Cargo getting the baseball, may have a shot. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. So Pagan able to drive in Terrio, and nobody feels worse about that than Dexter Fowler. It's 3-0. And Pagan moves to second on the throw. Jamie should have been in the dugout.
Absolutely should have been in the dugout. Made all the pitches he needed to make and made a pretty good pitch here. Down and away, off of the plate. Pagan, who had been reaching all day long, Pagan hits this ball out into left field. And Gonzalez comes up throwing, but pretty good wheels. And a run scores, and Terrio got on with that drop fly ball in center field.
Melky Cabrera walk, a pop out, and an RBI single, and this ball's hit well to right center field. Kadire can't get it. Pagan will come around, and Cabrera has himself a double.
And now he kind of forcing the hand of Jim Tracy. That pitch count getting up around the 100 mark. Trace probably going to have to go down and get him. Not something he wanted to do, and nor should he have had to do in this ball game. Jimmy's going to make a double switch here.
Both runs unearned. Just can't play sloppy baseball, George, especially when you're trying to beat a guy who has outstanding stuff and is on his game, as is the case today with Madison Bumgarner.
And more importantly than that, you can't have sloppy defense with a guy like Jamie Moyer on the mound. It's not going to strike a lot of people out. He's going to put the ball in play. Unfortunately for Jamie right now, I mean, this is too bad that this situation happened for him. He deserves this ovation. There's no question about it.
Pitch well. So Jamie Moyer walks off, trailing 4-0. The 2 runs here in the 6th inning, unearned. College. We started a savings account very early on with collegeinvest.org. I suggest you do the same. You can open up an account with as little as $25. Again, collegeinvest.org. So Jamie Moyer gone after 5 2/3, trailing 4-0. He scattered 8 hits.
The shame
2
of it,
runs again this inning, very quickly, George, unearned.
and the shame of it all, this should have been in the dugout this inning.
Tyler Colvin comes in at first. Pacheco is now out of the ball game.
Colvin
And
has played
Esmil Rogers takes over.
4 games at first base in his entire career. They were all last year. He started there twice for the Cubs. Now you look at Rogers a year ago, 13 starts, not the way things should have turned out for him with the stuff. 63 strikeouts, 14 home runs. The opponents hit over 300 against him, 320.
Now here's a contrast for Sandoval. Last couple times, 3 times at the plate, he's seen a guy who's topping out at 78. And the guy on the hill now can top out at 97, 98.
Oh!
1-1. That last fastball right at 97 miles an hour. Giants were 1 for 23 the first 5 ball games of the year with runners in scoring position at 2 outs, and they have back-to-back hits here in the inning. See Drew Pomeranz on Sunday. Rockies have very high expectations for Pomeranz. He'll pitch Sunday against Arizona. Another 97-mile-an-hour heater foul back, 2-2. The Rockies, which all teams do with a pitcher that's young at the professional level, and he's only had really a couple of cups of coffee in the minor leagues, George. You want to limit the big league innings that first year.
Oh, innings period. I mean, he had 110 innings last year combined through everything, which is not very many innings. Think back to what Jim Lelo did in Detroit a year ago with Porcello in the middle of the year. Put him on a disabled list. They had him down for a week just through one bullpen. Then went down and made a couple of starts, activated, brought him back. Protect the arm, protect the innings, so you have them in September.
That's why Pomeranz didn't start the year in the rotation and will make his first start about 10 days into the season.
Pitched 4 innings the other day against Corpus Christi. I think 4 strikeouts, no walks. He gave up 4 hits in the ball game. Threw 80-plus pitches in that start against Corpus.
Cabrera at second. 2-2 on Sandoval. 3-2. Hey, Drew, had your scorecard look last night. That's a strikeout. It had a lot of red marks on it. And we like red marks on the Rockies side. Need some red marks coming up here. Rockies trailing 4-zip. No hit so far. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Nice play by Ryan Theriot to take a hit away from Carlos Gonzalez. Honestly, that's the closest the Rockies have come to a knock against Bumgarner. In the 6th inning, Chris Nelson, Tyler Colvin, Marco Scutaro. There has been exactly one ball that has left the infield against Bumgarner. It's like Little League. The 3 outfielders could sit down and pick daisies.
They've turned a couple of double play balls for him. They've had some forces. They've done some things. As Drew's mentioning, keeping the ball on the ground. It's just a huge difference. Yep, no hits, folks, as he works here in a 6th. A couple of walks, 2 strikeouts.
Chris Nelson takes a strike. And again, last September, in his final performance against the Rockies in the ball game at AT&T Park, he went 7 innings, no runs, just 2 hits. So now over the last 12 innings, he's allowed no runs on 2 hits against the Rockies. And if you go back to a start here on September 16th, when he gave up 1 run on 6 hits in 7 innings. That's all it's been, folks, if you're just joining us. Choppers in the infield. 19 innings, 19 in the 3rd, 8 hits, 1 run.
The Dugout Stores, they have everything to get you ready for the Purple Mondays and beyond. 303-832-TEAM for the store information nearest you. Make sure you make that phone call, 303-832-TEAM.
Bumgarner dealing from the left side. Pacheco had just hit in the previous inning, so you want to double switch a spot that, one of the 2 spots that made the final couple of appearances in the previous inning. Pacheco, the likely guy to go out, but you can't replace him with a right-handed bat, really.
Colvin is a guy that was 1 for 4 in his career against Bumgarner in a Cub uniform, so he's had a little bit of success. He's doing
it gets down and it gets past Melky Cabrera. The no-hitter's gone, and Colvin is going to wind up at 3rd base.
Well, might have had an inside the park home run. When that ball was hit, he's kind of stopped waiting to see an umpire's ruling caught or what might have happened to it there. That ball shot under the glove of Melky Cabrera.
So Colvin breaks up the no-no, and you respect Melky Cabrera with a 4-run lead, trying to preserve the no-hitter for Madison Bumgarner. Ordinarily, he's not going to lay out here.
No, he's not. He's going to wait back on this baseball. Came in, and as he tried to catch the ball, went under the glove and all the way to the wall.
Yeah, he never contacted the baseball. It's got to be a triple. Marco Scutaro. And I know what you're thinking at home. Not to pile on the error. Nobody wants to make errors. Dexter's an outstanding center fielder defensively. But had the out occurred, you're talking about a 2-run game. Right now, the tying runs at the plate. Even though the Rockies haven't done anything offensively, you're right there.
You're right smack in the middle of it here. Just went under the glove. Now, if he dives a little bit earlier, maybe he catches the ball, but it is a base hit for Tyler Colvin.
It is a 3-base hit for Tyler Colvin. Two 2-0 on Scutaro. Now, sometimes little things like that. I mean, Bumgarner has been marvelous. Really can't pitch any better than he's pitched. But maybe just that hit, see if it rattles him.
Absolutely. It's only been in stretch twice. It's on walks.
Two and one. Last night, with runners in scoring position, the Rockies were 13 for 26. The 13 hits with runners in scoring position tied a club record. This goes all the way back to 1996. They were 13 of 23 in a ball game against Atlanta. That catches his own 2-2. This is the first time today they've had such an at-bat. Marco Scudero. Man, when he goes up there, he packs a lunch. His first at bat was a 10-pitch at bat today. He had one of the harder hit balls of the game. Line drive to fairly deep center field. Popped him up. That'll bring up Fowler. 2 outs and Colvin at third. Stay connected this season by following Root Sports on Facebook and Twitter. We want to hear from you as the Rockies kick off the 2012 season. Visit RockyMountain.rootsports.com for more information. Dexter, a comebacker and a walk. Two and nothing on Fowler. Top of the strike zone on the forward strike zone. 2 balls and a strike. Pulled through the hole, a base hit, and Fowler gets the Rockies on the board. It is 4-1 as Colvin scores.
Trying to do what he can to make amends for the miscue back in the previous inning. And you mentioned it, Drew. I mean, you're looking at a 2-1 ball game right now instead of 4-1 ball game with that drop fly ball in center. Dexter trying to rectify some things here. Does just that. Shot that fastball right through the hole on the left side to drive in and give the Rockies their first run after the triple by Tyler Colvin.
So here's Cargo with 2 outs. Hard comebacker and a smash up the middle. Ryan Terrio made a great play on. He goes with a curveball. 0-1. Jamie Moyer went 5 2/3. 4 runs, 2 earned, 112 pitches. This ball is pulled in the hole, a base hit. And Dexter will go first to third. Tulowitzki's going to come up representing the tying run. So the no-hitter's gone here in the inning. The shutout's gone for Bumgarner. And if he makes a mistake, it may be even Steven.
Yeah, it could be very quickly with Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki on the day so far, looking at it, had walked and then out on a fielder's choice. Pretty good pitch here. Breaking ball down and away. Gonzalez just shot that thing right by Pill on the right side and out of the reach of Terrio. And then with the speed of Dexter, you hustle on. Getty out for a conference with his pitcher.
Troy a walk and a ground ball to short. 4 for 9 in his career against Madison Bumgarner. Outfield straight up and deep. Fowler at third, Cargo at first. Sun has come out literally at Coors Field. We'll see if it does figuratively here. Ground ball to third. Sandoval throws out Tulowitzki. In the inning, the Rockies get a run on 3 hits to break the ice finally against the Giants. And Madison Bumgarner, 4-1. In the third inning, Jamie Moyer against Brett Pill. And a bloop single would drive in a run. Sandoval scores. Melky Cabrera off the end of the bat. It broke the bat, but it found an opening up the middle. Crawford would come around. Giants had a 2-0 lead. And then the 6th inning, they got a bonus out, and they took advantage after an error by the Rockies. A couple of 2-out knocks. Back live, Esmil Rogers spins Buster Posey around. 1-0. Need a quick inning, get back to the bat rack. See if you can get after Bumgarner some more in a 4-1 ball game. 2-0 on Posey, 1 for 3 against Jamie Moyer. Brett Pill's on deck. Challenged him with the heater. 2-1. Good pitch. Here's a 2-2 on Posey. Got him on a slider. Well done.
2 really good pitches by Ismael Rogers. The one when he struck out Sandoval to end the inning, a hard sinker down and away, and it comes back here. Very hard slider to the outer half of the plate. So 2 men face, 2 men down for Ismael Rogers. Nice outing for him. One of the better we've seen this spring.
Pill hit by a pitch, a single, and a pop to first. See, that's what Jerry Weinstein was talking about, how that ball was received. Catching it, say, stop all the action. In other words, just freeze the pitch. And that's what he did on a ball that had some sink to it, George, in the mid-90s, and he just froze it.
Well, that's what he has to do. Very strong wrist, which he has the ability to do that. It takes one to be able to pull that off.
2 outs. Here's the first pitch of that sequence, George.
Yeah, what Drew's talking about is when the pitch comes in, watch the extension of the arm. See how he goes out, stiff arm? See how that ball is locked? Versus allowing it to travel and catch up most of that hard sinking on your hands. Not good.
Catch that inside corner with the thumb up. Help it out visually for the umpire, as opposed to your elbows out momentum kind of takes it away from the strike zone.
Well, the glove does. It carries out.
Yep.
The glove will carry out of the strike zone.
One strike pitch on Shearholtz.
It's not so much the harder throwers. It's a little bit easier than a heavy sink at like 88, 90 that's got a tremendous amount of movement to try to hold it.
Ball in and up. Rogers' brother played for a long time the Diamondbacks organization. He's now playing independent baseball for a club out of Atlantic City. They work out partners in the offseason. Trying to get the slider on the back door. 1-2. Always very pleasant young man, Esmil Rogers. I mentioned the name Shearholtz for a while in San Francisco. He has the second most tenure on the Giant club. Down the left field line, and it's going to spin toward the seats. One player who's been with the Giants longer is Matt Cain.
Pretty nice snag by a fan. If you were in Baltimore right now, you would have heard Mr. Barney say, if he was still there with us, give that man a contract.
Two balls, two strikes on Shearholtz. Ground ball, foul. You know, so frequently in the game we talk about, well, his dad was a terrific player and reached the big leagues. His dad was a football player. Nate Shearholtz's dad was an exceptional skateboarder. True story, George. Look. This is on the ground to Scudero. Good inning for Esmil Rogers.
Well, what you really like about what Ismail's done, he's maintained this ball game and not let it get out of hand.
The sixth inning before it was broken up by Tyler Colvin, a sinking line drive that turned into a triple. Rockies would get a run. Jamie Moyer gave up 4 runs, just 2 earned. Really pitched very competitively. But Madison Bumgarner's been outstanding. Michael Kadire will lead things off. He takes ball 1. Rockies down 3 runs as they come to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th. Kadire, Willeen Rosario, and then the pitcher spot after a double switch an inning or so ago.
Rex Brothers getting loose in the Rockies bullpen. That job by Ismael Rogers, man, oh man,
Terrific.
just what you're looking for. Got to come into the ball game, and again, you hear me talk an awful lot about maintaining the game. He did just that for Jim Tracy.
Down the road, the Rockies. This ball is sharply hit the Sandoval. He's been busy today.
Yes, he has.
See who comes in the on-deck circle, because George, the only true right-handed bat, you have 2 switch hitters, Ely and Herrera, is Ramon Hernandez. Now, the Rockies have 3 catchers, except Pacheco's out of the game, so you really don't.
You got to be very careful how you choose things here. Ely's coming out a switch hitter. 6 ground ball outs for Sandoval in this game. A lot of that with the left-hander throwing a lot of balls down and in. He's given Rosario fits today with that off-speed pitch.
Willeen, a ground ball to short and a strikeout. 5 chances for Pablo Sandoval at third.
Yep, they sure did. Coors Field Suites and Party Facilities fit any event and any budget. For the best deal, ask about the 6-game or 20-game suite packages. Get the neighborhood together and rent you a 6-game suite package. Come on out to the yard. If not, get 2 neighborhoods together and rent it for 20. Why not? Two guys normally work in the 7th inning for the Giants. They've popped up out of their bullpen now. The left-hander Lopez, former Rocky, boy, he's done a nice job after going over to Boston, coming back here. And then Casilla, the right-hander.
Fouled off down the right field line.
Gone through this thing at 93 pitches, 58 strikes. It's been pretty good. He has been outstanding. Just 3 hits in a run given up. The last inning they got after him a little bit.
Pitches with the poise of somebody much older. Just 22.
You know, and you can see that coming out of high school when you watched him in a lot of the different things. I happened to see him at Aflac, the All-American game played at Petco in San Diego. A lot of those guys just making the moves. This is going to be a fun one. Pablo drifting over by the tarp is going to be able to keep it in fair territory, and they'll be able to get Rosario. Well, that's one of the things that kind of separated him from a lot of those young draft picks, was his maturity on the mound and toughness on the mound.
Two outs. Ely will pinch hit. 2 outs, nobody on. Ely got to participate for 1 inning last night, but what an inning it was. He had 2 at-bats in the inning, a single and a triple. Did you play last night? Yeah, I got a half an inning in.
Dad, guess what? I got the game last night. Pinch hit, came in. You know what? I had a lot of fun, too. Really, what'd you do? Well, I bunted the ball hard to shortstop, beat that out. Stole a base.
With a funky slide.
Yeah, that's okay. Count that. But then, I hit a triple.
drove this ball left center field. An easy triple. Not too many guys get easy triples. EY and Dexter can have easy triples. Usually the gas tank's running out. It's a head first slide or tumble.
Yeah, exactly.
Then the timeout. Give me a couple minutes, catch my breath. Not for those guys.
EY and Tyler Colvin were out very early this morning, staying in shape as bench players, running sprints in the outfield, put in about 15 of them before the gates opened up today, getting their work in on the day game.
It's off the plate, 2-2.
He put it right where he wanted to, but it was just off the plate, didn't induce a swing.
Hits it on the ground to second. Bumgardner with a 1-2-3 seventh inning. So we move on to the eighth. 4-1 San Francisco. To the south, tell us why you're a fan and enter to win the ultimate fan experience. It'll include travel and a hotel for you and a guest to visit Denver and watch the Rockies in action. In the Root Sports Suite, you'll have breakfast with the on-air talent and a Root Sports prize pack. Enter today by visiting RockyMountain.rootsports.com. Drew Goodman, George Frazier. We haven't heard from Jenny in a while. Jenny Cavnar, Mark Stout also around the ballpark today. Ryan Theriot in the eighth inning against Rex Brothers.
Rex coming on trying to do just exactly what Ismael Rogers did. And a year ago, he's pretty good, folks. 59 strikeouts, 40 and 2/3 innings. Only 4 home runs given up over those 40 and 2/3. 16 holes as a young player. Became much more prominent in that Rockies bullpen at the end of the year as he fell and kind of walked his way through the early stages of a big league career. One right-handed at 96-97. You run Brothers out at 96-97 from the left side.
Tough chance, Tulowitzki, and he makes it look so easy. Good play by Troy to get Ryan Theriot.
You want to know where Jenny is? Let's find out. Jenny, where are you?
Well, I'm right down here in the camera well, of course, George, listening to all the interesting things you have to tell us in this game. You know, guys, I was thinking
well,
back.
Hold on a second. Why are you chuckling while you say that?
Come on now. We're just having a little fun here. I was thinking back on Sunday's game when Juan Nicasio returned to the mound. What an incredible start that was for him. Although he recorded a no decision in that game, he brings a 1.29 ERA into tomorrow's matchup. This will be his return to Coors Field since the incident that happened last April where he broke a C1 vertebrae. Again, amazing that he's walking, nevertheless pitching and performing quite well. I spoke with General Manager Dan O'Dowd today. He said it's going to be a very special moment tomorrow, one you won't want to miss here at Coors Field. They're going to honor the trainers, the doctors, and even the medical staff that helped out Nicasio during that time last April from Denver Health. It'll all be in a pregame ceremony. But again, I'm excited to hear the fans' reaction here at Coors Field. We heard it on opening day when they announced his name. These fans are so excited to see him back in pitching.
Yeah, he got a huge roar when he was introduced on the line Monday. Hey, Jenny. Thanks very much.
You're very welcome, Drew. Anytime.
Look at her.
She was done with us.
I just thought she was a little facetious when she said entertaining facts or something along those lines. 4-1 Giants, 2-1 count on Brandon Crawford, 1 out in the Giants' 8th. It's a real good pitching matchup. Daniel Hudson tomorrow and Juan Nicasio. Crawford's gone. 2 outs.
I really like that sequence because left-handed batter thinking probably hard slider away. Swung at a high fastball 97 at 96. This one's at 97 right on the outer half of the plate. Really good. Not for a big guy like Brothers is, but to use that extension and leverage that he has and really placed it perfectly.
Two 2-0 on Bumgarner. It's a pretty good rip there. 2-1.
His average won't tell you he's a great hitter, but he could come up with some big hits. I mean, he's not scared. He's going to take some hacks. Well, yesterday their bullpen didn't have a whole lot of fun. An awful lot of pitches yesterday, particularly I felt with 46 and Hensley, Wilson, Reynolds, and Chatwood. Chatwood 41 pitches in 3 innings, pretty good. Bumgarner's throwing 101 in this game today.
Brothers does not want to be behind 3-1 on the pitcher. Ball's well hit to center field. Dexter going back and he'll make the catch. So Bumgarner gave that delivery from Brothers at 95 a long ride. What a 1-2-3 inning. 4-1 San Francisco. Used to do this in the early 90s after you retired, George. Was it frightening to hang glide?
Not at all.
Got pretty views.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually Charlie Felix, isn't it, our photographer?
The hardest part for me was the houses on the way down.
Yeah, the houses would be hard, George, if you hit them. Emmanuel Burris in defensively for Ryan Theriot at second base. Chris Nelson will lead it off against Madison Bumgarner in the 8th. Rockies trailing 4-1. They've been out hit 8-3. All three of their hits and their lone run came in the 6th inning. Bumgarner took a no-hitter into the 6th. Actually went 5 1/3 no-hit innings before Tyler Colvin is now in the game at first base. Triple to left. That's a base hit to center field for Nelly. Good start to the 8th inning. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Reconfigured bullpen now, George. Javier Lopez, our old friend, is still up, but it's Sergio Romo on the right side.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little bit puzzled. 104 pitches right now. I know the kid's in good shape. He's had a really good ball game. He's giving you what you needed. 7 innings.
I think if you start to get to the top of that lineup and there's still traffic, you may see Bruce Bochy make the move then.
Well, the reason I say you're getting the next batters, you're at the top. I mean, that's the thing for me, and then you're working your way into the middle of that. Bochy, obviously a master of running his bullpen, feels comfortable with Bumgarner going in this matchup left on left.
He's got Lopez still up for one guy, and that's Cargo. Colvin broke up the no-no. Low fastball, and he drove it to left field. Melky Cabrera made a great effort to try to preserve the no-hitter. Went underneath his glove, and it was a triple straight up because he never contacted the baseball. Tyler Colvin worked tirelessly, easy for me to say, in the offseason with Carney Lansford, Jim Tracy, and through training camp to go the other way again. He became so pull happy last year, hit just $150 when he was in the big leagues with the Cubs after a 20 home run season and 256 average the previous year in Chicago. We have seen him not only throughout spring training, but now on a couple of occasions in the first week of the season drive the ball with authority to the left field.
Two for 5 in his career versus Bumgarner.
Colvin keeps the AB alive. That's a home run, George, if they just would move that foul pole.
Well, what it tells me, too, though, if you're Madison Bumgarner, you're thinking in your mind, I've gone away, I've gone in, I've gone up, I've gone down. He continues to battle, and this time got pretty good wood on a 75-mile-an-hour curveball. He left it in the inner half of the plate. Pretty good battle going on here between these two guys. 110 pitches right now in the ball game for Madison Bumgarner. Next Purple Monday, April 16th, wear purple, win prizes, including autographed items, and the first 12,500 fans are going to receive Rockies rewards coupons. It's this Monday. Padres are in town.
Colvin by himself now may run Bumgarner out of the game. Leadoff single for Chris Nelson. Here in the 8th with the Rockies trailing 4-1. Rubber game of this 3-game set between the Rockies and Giants. Game 3 of 18 between these two clubs this year.
Going right at him, keeping him within the strike zone, and Tyler doing a good job fighting everything off. 9th pitch coming up in the at-bat.
Two schools of thought, George, on the number of pitches here in April. Some would say, boy, especially with a young arm, you don't throw that many this early. If you talk to Nolan Ryan, he says, I'm tired of pitch counts. I think we are way too sensitive to pitch counts.
Well, and it depends on the shape of the kid, too. This kid's obviously a big bull, big, strong guy.
Got a piece of it.
Barely got a piece to stay alive. You like it.
This guy's going to help the Rockies in 2012. Tyler Colvin. He was part of the Ian Stewart, Casey Weathers deal.
Weathers still in Double-A with the Cubs.
Stewart's playing third.
Yep, starting in the big leagues for the Cubs.
And now it's full, 3-2. The next pitch will be the 12th of the at-bat. He's losing track. See if Nelson's moving. Nope. There will be a 13th pitch. Kyler may be getting tired from swinging.
Pretty good battle going right here. I'm liking this a lot.
You don't get this many hacks, George, in a round of BP. Look at the Ford strike zone. It's obliterated it. And Bumgarner's going to win the battle. One out, and Bochy pops out of the dugout. And that's all for Madison Bumgarner. Great outing for Bumgarner. He goes 7 1/3, allows a run on 4 hits. Responsible for Chris Nelson at first. Sergio Romo will skip his way into the ball game. inning. The Rockies have a man on with one out. Marco Scutaro coming up. He'll face Sergio Romo. And see, Sergio Romo now has the Brian Wilson starter kit beard going.
Yeah, they both started that thing back at the World Series times, and Romo kind of got rid of his for a little bit and then brought it back.
When are you going to go with that, George?
I'd love to. There's people at higher places won't allow me to do it.
Oh, bullpen guy.
I'd love to grow one out again.
Scutaro's 0 for 3 in the ball game.
You're going to see a lot of sliders. That's what he'll throw, and he'll throw them 79 to 84 miles an hour. He's got pinpoint control with it. He'll show you a fastball, but if he does, it's out of the strike zone.
And Scutaro hits it in the air to center field. 2 outs. Now to bring up Dexter Fowler. Dexter had a great night at the plate last night. Did not have an RBI. He has the only RBI this afternoon for the Rockies. 1 for 2 and a walk.
65 ball games, 23 holes for Romo a year ago. He and Lopez shared that duty in the 8th inning before they got to Wilson. 3-1 record, a great earned run average, 1.50, and look at the walk strikeout. That's looks a little bit like Mr. Betancourt, 70-5.
This is away. If Dexter would reach, Cargo would come up representing the tying run, and you would see Javier Lopez, I'm sure, from Bruce Bochy's perspective. Ball, 1 strike. Dex 0 for 4 against Sergio Romo in his career. 2-1. Bumgarner, the Rockies saw it today. They're very familiar with. He had a rough first outing in Arizona. Much better this afternoon.
Well, the explanation you get from a lot of different people are the fact that he was so amped up after a great spring. I mean, a really good spring. 2.04 earned run average, covered 31 plus innings. On the overhead, did Dexter go? Obviously did not. Nobody thought he did.
Ball 4. And Carlos Gonzalez will come to bat representing the tying run. You got to imagine Bochy will go and get Romo and bring in Lopez. Here he comes. I'll tell you a little story. Carlos Gonzalez 2 for 9 against Lopez, but I remember well one of the 2 hits that Cargo has against Javier. He hit one off the back wall of the bullpen against him here at Coors Field not all that long ago. Hitter never forgets, pitcher never forgets. Back in a moment. Not all that far from Golden, Colorado. Lodo, where the Rockies are trailing 4-1 in the 8th inning. 2 outs. Cargo coming up with 2 men aboard. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Javier Lopez lives in Golden, Colorado in the offseason, and here he is on the Coors Field mound. One of the better situational lefties in the game. As I mentioned before the commercial break, Carlos 2 for 9 against Lopez. One of the 2 hits, a long home run. Outfield exceptionally deep. The home run was in July of 2010.
15 games versus the Rockies. Lopez numbers not so good. 6.17 ERA. The Rockies have hit .327 against him.
Bettencourt throwing in the Rockies bullpen. Here's the 0-1. And a roller to second. So Lopez able to get Gonzalez. Rockies leave 2 on in the 8th. We move to the 9th, 4-1 Giants.
What's up? Hello. Good.
A 4-1 lead. Rockies have been limited to just 4 hits. Madison Bumgarner, terrific today. Coming up after the ballgame, the Toyota postgame show. Let's go to center field. Joel Klatt. Joel.
Yeah, guys, like you just said, Drew, Madison Bumgarner, he's got the Rockies all bummed out today. Only those 4 hits. Couldn't quite get it done there with Cargo representing the tying run. Plus, errors on the side of Moyer. 5 errors in Jamie Moyer's 2 starts this year. We'll talk about the 49-year-old and his quest for history. And as always, we'll get you down inside the clubhouse to hear from the skipper. That's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show.
All right, Joel, thank you. Yeah, it's 5 errors with Jamie Moyer on the mound in a little more than 10 innings. That's not going to work. I don't care who's on the mound. That's not going to work.
Not going to work. Rafael Bettencourt coming out to pitch the 9th inning. And, of course, last year, those huge numbers, 73 and 8 overall, won the strikeouts and walk. He had innings pitched 62 2/3, taking over the closer's role. The Rockies have not had a big need for a save situation, just one down in Houston. Here at Coors Field, pitched very well. 2-0, 193 earned run average. The opposition hit 191 against.
Let's take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. We have to go all the way back to Sunday. Willeen Rosario at Minute Maid Park. The Rockies did not hit a home run Monday in their opener. They didn't score a run. Wednesday, they scored 17 runs. No home runs. And today, they've been limited to a run on 4 hits. Rosario getting his 2nd start of the year. So Bettencourt will try to keep it a 3-run game. Hope the Rockies can rally in the bottom of the 9th inning. Angel Pagan, 1 for 4 in the ball game. RBI single in the 6th. Jamie Moyer, if you're just jumping on board, gave up 4 runs, just 2 earned in 5 2/3. That's what Joel Klatt was talking about. The errors, there were 2 today behind him. One was costly, a drop fly ball from Dexter Fowler. 2 runs ended up scoring. Can't give good teams extra outs. Hard enough getting 3 outs in this game, much less 4. Here's the 1-0 to Pagan.
Renicky more than likely just getting a little bit of throwing and down in the bullpen. He worked a couple of days ago. Wilson's getting ready to come in here and get after it against the Rockies.
Well, what you have, as you know, George, what you have to have is the parachute. This is your closer. So if, let's say, the inning goes askew, you can't have him throw 22, 23 bullets.
But you can't, typically when you put a guy out as a closer, you don't want him to throw 23 bullets. But he won't throw 23 bullets. Does that make sense? Normally he's going to work through the inning have a pretty pure inning.
2-2. Rosario sets up off the outside corner. His glove just off the corner, though. 3-2. Here's a 3-2 to Angel Pagan, and he fouls this off. Giants were swept to begin the season. 3 one-run games in Arizona. They have their home opener tomorrow against the Pirates. In the air, left center field. Dexter got a good break on it, and he makes a catch. 1 out. We'll bring up Melky Cabrera. Rockies will have Tulowitzki, Kadire, and Willeen Rosario in the 9th inning, the first 3.
Well, the first hot dog day's coming up. That's right. Hebrew National $1 hot dog coupon on April the 17th. So get your tickets now for that ball game and be one of the first 10,000 to come through the gates to receive one.
In the air down the left field line and out of play. Giants got a run in the 3rd, a run in the 4th, 2 unearned runs in the 6th inning. And the Rockies did not have a hit until there was 1 out in the 6th inning against Madison Bumgarner. Triple by Colvin broke up the no-hitter. Cargo and Dexter hits in that inning as well. Chris Nelson, the only other knock for the Rockies today. They got 22 hits last night to 4 this afternoon. Here's the 1-1 from Rafael.
Spring training, Bencourt fought trying to get the full extension to the plate, so the ball was not down at the knees, it was more mid-thighs, and he got beat around a little bit. So he went to the old-fashioned towel drill, which is where you throw a towel, basically hang on to it, but reach out and try to slap the coach's glove out in front of you that's extended a little bit farther than normal, so you can get that release point. There's a couple of drills you can do with that, getting that extension. One's go to the back of the mound and throw uphill. Have your catcher move up about 20. The other one for me is I move for a right-handed guy, I'll move the catcher almost over in the middle of the left-handed batter's box to have him extend out there with the pitches.
Got it. Betancourt strikes out Pagan, second out in the 9th inning.
Very good idea with the breaking ball. Didn't get it to that inner half where most left-handers really like it. He kept it away a little bit up in the zone, but it had enough off-speed pitch to it. Plus, it had enough tilt right at the very end to get the swing and miss.
Pablo Sandoval steps up. It's just 1-4 starting the season. Second straight year they've started the year 1-4. Rockies are 2-3. Sandoval, a .308 career batting average. We were talking about that yesterday. And since his debut in 2008, it's the 4th best among National League players. He's behind Joey Votto, Ryan Braun, and Carlos Gonzalez. 0-2. Votto's hit 320 in that time frame. As you look at Kung Fu Panda's great numbers, subpar 2010. Everybody was concerned about his weight. Lost much weight last year. It looks like he's back to his previous weight, to be honest with you. But 25, he moves very well. He's able to move that weight around. He's a tremendous offensive player. He's good at third also.
We watched that all day long today.
Yeah. But I mean, he has range also.
Sure,
I think you look at the body and think, oh, okay, probably not going to move real well. He does. He moves very well.
What I like about him more than anything is the smile on his face and the happy playing the game, man. He just loves playing baseball.
Yes, he does. 2-2. He did not play winter ball this past off season. They've asked him to catch again a little bit, catch some bullpens just in case. He has not caught in more than 2 years. He didn't sound exactly thrilled about it. On the ground to Tulowitzki. Troy's got it. Good inning for Rafael Betancourt. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Rockies trailing 4-1. They'll get Brian Wilson, Troy Tulowitzki. He'll be first, trying to ignite a Rockies rally at Coors Field. Inning. The Rockies will have Tulowitzki, Kadire, Willeen Rosario, and hopefully others to face Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson got his first work of the season yesterday in that blowout. Probably people were looking on wondering why in a blowout game did Bruce Bochy go to Brian Wilson. He never got an opportunity down in Arizona.
3 ball games, didn't play well at all. 57 games a year ago. Wilson, 36 of 41 save opportunities, earned run average up a little bit, but still has the strikeout ability, 54 and 55 innings. Against the Rockies in 2010, pretty special. 0-2, 5 of 7 in save opportunities over 9 games, a 164 earned run average. Then last year, near perfect, 2-0, no earned runs, 7 games, 4 for 4. Save opportunities. Yesterday gave up a run in the ball game. We'll get Tulowitzki to get things going here.
Troy faced him in the 8th inning and struck out. Cargo had walked against him and would come around on a Kadire double. That's the final run. The Rockies would score their 17th.
Todd Helton has hit Wilson very well if you get to that part of the lineup. He was swung about well against him. Giambi, 2 for 5, but Helton has a little more history with him, 5 for 14.
See, most of the regulars for the Rockies have swung the bat pretty well against Brian Wilson.
Yeah, the number's a little contradicting because in 2011, no earned runs over 7 games and a 4 for 4 in save opportunities and 2-0 record.
Kadire's 2 for 2. Giambi, you mentioned, 2 for 5. Cargo's 3 for 8. Helton 5 for 14. Tulo 5 for 17. 294 average.
Ain't giving him a fastball yet. He showed a 95-mile-an-hour fastball yesterday.
Cutter again.
An awful lot of cutters. This one at 89.
If he plays about 3 or 4 more years, George, he's going to look like Father Time on the hill.
Waiting on you to grow one of those.
Keep waiting. 2-2. This is driven to right center field, and it's going to touch down and roll to the warning track. A leadoff double for Troy Tulowitzki.
A very good hitter, great hitter, as a matter of fact. And Wilson threw him a steady diet of fastballs, cutters and sliders. The last, an 81-mile-an-hour slider that Tulowitzki just stayed on. Did not try to pull it, drove it into right center field. This ball's going to break, but it's going to break right out over the heart of the plate. You're going to see it here. See, that ball didn't have much tilt to it. Tulowitzki stayed right on it. Man, what a good job of hitting by Tulo. Head right on the baseball. Extension, tried to that back foot come out as the front foot came forward. And that swing, and ends up with a double. That missed a little. Kadire knew it, but home plate umpire Ron Colpin didn't. Called it a strike. Trying to crowd him in.
Here's the 0-1. 1-1 on Kadire, who has 6 extra base hits already this year. Tied for the National League lead with Omar Infante and Yadier Molina. Cuddy's 2 for 2, as I mentioned, against Brian Wilson. That's a strike. Giambi with the pitcher spot coming after Willeen Rosario. On the ground toward the hole. No play for Crawford, I don't think, and he threw it anyhow. An infield hit for Kadire, and now nobody out. The tying run coming up in Willeen Rosario. Michael Kadire now 3 for 3 against Brian Wilson.
Kind of reluctant to throw that fastball. Not sure why. He's throwing so many cutters. The but the results have been good for the Rockies, whatever it is. Another cutter that didn't cut, stayed inside. Kadire pulled it into the hole, and then it was off to the races. I didn't think Crawford had a shot at all at first base. It's actually a pretty close play.
Off the plate, ball one. You know, George, guys evolve as pitchers. You always think of Brian Wilson with the heavy fastball in the upper 90s. He's throwing it less and less, though, as the years go on.
I think we've seen it twice so far, haven't we? I mean, Rosario, the book on him is bad breaking ball hitter. So I'd be really surprised, unless it's a fastball really out of the zone, that Wilson would give him one. I think you're going to see a lot of cutters, a lot of sliders to Rosario.
For example, George, a few years ago, he threw around 70, 71% fastballs. Last year was 53% and 46% cutters.
And things starting to change for him.
Here's the 1-1. That's that swing pitch. He went cutter again, and he missed off the plate, 2-1. And it looked like it was pretty well identified by Rosario. Double by Tulowitzki. Infield hit Michael Kadire. 2 on, nobody out. The Rockies trailing by 3 in the bottom of the ninth. The big man's on deck.
Frisbee action working. 8 pitches for strikes so far. That ball right there, Rosario trying to tie this thing up. You got to look at it too. Backup slider. He swung under it.
It looked like the cutter, maybe, George. It didn't really move a lot. 2-2. Got it.
Fastball. After a steady diet of nothing but sliders. And see, there's that fastball velocity, 94. Still pretty good. There it is, out of the zone, but set it all up with those cutters and sliders.
So Giambi will pinch hit with 1 out and 2 on. Todd Helton, if you're wondering, is around the bat rack. Chris Nelson is on deck. Outside on Giambi.
And you're going to have to throw Giambi a strike. He's not going to swing at something out of the zone.
He won't do it. Here's Todd. Corner, 1-1. Helton got the day off. Pacheco started at first base. If you're wondering, well, why not Giambi? You had Bumgarner going, a real tough lefty, that's why. Line drive, base hit. Tulowitzki will stop. Ball's bobbled for a moment by Shearholtz. But down by 3 runs, you do not push the envelope if you're Richie Dower. So the base is loaded. Nelson will be called back, and here comes number 17.
Johnny Herrera is going to have to go to first. That'll help save you on the ground ball double play. Helton comes into the pinch hit here.
We mentioned it last night, George, with Brian Wilson getting his first work of the year in a blowout ball game. It was the middle of the order, so he was giving the Rockies an opportunity a little bit to reacquaint themselves with his stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've reacquainted pretty good today. Now it's up to Todd with bases drunk and just 1 out. He's been there many, many times. We mentioned what he had done against Wilson in his career. Helton 5 for 14, a 357 average.
Well, the beautiful thing, and Brian Wilson knows this, with Giambi and with Helton, they're not going to expand. Ball 1. He knows eventually he's going to have to come in the strike zone. Little ninth inning drama at 20th and Blake. He's looking for some Coors Field magic. 1-1. Tulowitzki, Kadire, and Herrera on base. 4-1 Giants, 1 out. Helton at the plate. Way inside. Trying with the four-seamer.
Tried to run his delivery a little bit quicker and didn't command it into the zone. Trying a little surprise attack on Todd Helton. He just took it.
Tulo doubled. Kadire an infield hit. Giambi a single. Herrera's running for him. Helton with the bases loaded. Rather good numbers.
Very, very good numbers.
Bruce Bochy knows in this ballpark you play 27 outs. Heck, it was his club last night that was down 6-0 in the 4th inning, and they threw a 7 spot up.
Yeah, and the Rockies countered with 7 right on the back side of it. We looked at him in the 9th inning. He was hoping the bus was leaving early. Today he's hoping he could just get out of here with a W. The Rockies putting pressure, all kinds of pressure on his closer here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Tyler Colvin on deck. Herrera's the tying run. Helton would be the winning run. 2-1. Line drive, glove by Crawford. Or excuse me, by Burris. 2 outs.
Couldn't have been hit any harder by Todd Helton.
Nope.
And if that ball, and it dips, you know, a lot like horseshoes, but I mean, if that thing's about 2 feet to the left of him, it's hit so hard, folks, it's probably going to the wall.
Herrera would have a chance. You're absolutely right. So Tyler Colvin now will step up against Brian Wilson. And Colvin has faced Wilson just 1 time, 0 for 1. He has a triple and a pop out in the game. 1-0. Outfield playing no doubles with the 3-run lead. 2-0 on Colvin. If he were to reach, Marco Scudero's on deck.
See, I didn't think, I tell you what, I didn't know that Wilson looked right. They've called the trainer out after that last pitch. The trainer's popping out, Bochy's popping out. And it probably from the previous conversation, you know, he threw a lot of pitches last night. He's got a little flare up in the back, a little flare up in his elbow and forearm. So, you know what? And that conversation with Buster Posey on Todd Helton, you know, Wilson had his head down, can't do this, can't do that. And now all of a sudden that conversation's coming on here with Bochy and Wilson. He don't want to give the ball up too good, though, is he?
See if anything happened on this particular pitch. It's a slider down low. And
well, velocity tells it all to Buster Posey.
you know what? Bochy's looking right in his eyes. That's what managers tend to do. They're not really looking at delivery. They're looking in the eyeballs to tell you if what they're seeing and what they're saying are the same. I'm fine, maybe belied by the grimace on the face, right?
Fifth game of the year, too. This might be stupid here. You know, and you end up costing us our closer because you're trying to get the third out of Coors Field in the 5th game of the season or 6th game versus, you know, He'll bring somebody else into this situation too to get you out of here.
2-0 on Tyler Colvin. Bases loaded. 4-1 Giants, 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Well, he got a pitch out over the plate he liked.
89-mile-an-hour fastball. A little different velocity there, wasn't it? Threw 24 pitches last night. That was his 24th pitch today for Brian Wilson.
Pretty much guarantees that the Pirates won't see him tomorrow.
No.
Two and one. Three and one. He really looks like he's laboring.
Change up?
Yeah, when was the last time? When was the last time in that situation? I don't remember him throwing many changeups.
Not at all. And he switched to fastball. Oh. Well, Coach, I'm concerned right now. I'm Tyler Colvin. I'm saying, give me another one of those. See what I can do with your 85-mile-an-hour heater, 89.
3-1. Not close. Ball four. That'll walk in a run, 4-2. Tying run goes to second. Scudero coming up. And Righetti will go out. Now this is not the second visit. The first visit is an injury-related situation, so it does not count. So you don't have to pull the pitcher here. There's nobody warming in the Giant bullpen. Now, Sergio Casilla has been up.
On the other side of that, I mean, Wilson had a late start to spring training because of an inflamed right elbow.
Let me correct that set. Sergio Romo, Santiago Casilla. So Marco Scudero will face Brian Wilson. He's seen him only once in his career, 0 for 1. Four to 2. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Rockies trying to get Johnny Herrera to the promised land. He is in second base, running for Giambi. Scudero 0 for 4. Even the cutter, George, the cutters were about 89. That cutter in the mid-80s.
86, sliders are 83 now. Things changing around quite a bit. Trying to gut this thing out for Righetti and Bochy. Not sure he's going to be able to pull this off. I'd like to see him hang one right in the middle of the school or just smoke this thing.
There's a double amount of concern right now for San Francisco. Ball game and their closer. This is pulled foul.
Kind of like that. Last year, Wilson threw 30 pitches 3 times the entire year in and out. This is his 30th coming, and he's in the 5th ball game of the season.
And what, about 16 hours ago, maybe less than that, he threw 24.
Plus another 60, 70 in the bullpen to get loose.
1-2 on Scudero. Popped up, but out of play. Four runs, 8 hits for the Giants. 2 runs, 7 hits now for the Rockies. They've committed 2 errors. unearned runs in the ball game for San Francisco. 1-2. Dexter Fowler on deck. Herrera's been getting a good secondary lead. He's the tying run at second. 2-2. In the air to right center field, and Shearholt should have it. The Giants survive 4-2. Brian Wilson hangs on literally in the 9th inning, and the Giants take 2 of 3 from the Rockies. So the Rockies 2-4 through their first 2 series of the year. Madison Bumgarner gets the win. He's 1-1. Jamie Moyer, who pitched effectively, takes the loss. He's 0-2. And for Brian Wilson, his first save of 2012. Today's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. And Madison Bumgarner really the story today. The Rockies did not get a hit off him until there was 1 out in the 6th inning when Tyler Colvin tripled. And everything was on the ground, and most were not hit that sharply. So Madison Bumgarner continues to dominate the Rockies. He has done that now for about a year and a half. Once again, the final score, the Giants win it 4-2. We invite you to stick around. The Toyota postgame show is up next.